All right, still trying to dial in the audio quality on this, but for the benefit of one of the members of well, anyway, we're gonna look at how to make a drum kit, and I have gone ahead and set up. If you see in the matrix, I've done a couple things already. I'm gonna go through the process again with you, though. This audio is just the audio that my vocals are coming through. I'm still not really happy about this. This mic seems okay, but I can't seem to get rid of the noise in my setup. I need to power condition it, but hopefully this is coming through okay. So let me show you what I've done right here. So in this particular clip, what we've got going on here, you can see here at the end we have this one outlier. And that is, we're supposed to set this up okay. So, I'll stay focused on this. Alright, so at the end, you'll notice what we've got going on here is, and I will put it on the screen here so that maybe, let's see here, let's go edit, yeah, okay, so we get in, so I used layers in this one particular instance because I wanted to test a theory that I had. And I've got the rest of the drums. I built a drum set. There's plenty of tutorials out there about building drum sets. That's not what this is about. However, I haven't seen as many. And if you listen to a lot of drummers that are sort of more in the motoric style, which is associated with like krautrock and that kind of things, and bands that are influenced like that, where you don't have a drummer that's doing a whole lot of flash. They're doing this. They're really in the pocket. I mean, it's popular in funk music too, but a thing that happens is they play the beat almost metronomic. You know, there's not a lot of flourish, not a lot of this and that, but in order to signify the turns, that's the chance for the drummer to throw in a little fill. Usually the fill lasts half a measure, maybe a full measure, but that's not typical. But it's kind of random. I mean, sometimes there's a specific thing that keys into another section, but sometimes, and I'm using this as a loop sampler to accompany my guitar some. I'm also creating music with it. But for somebody who wants something where you've got a drum beat and you don't want to get that sort of fatigue, there's a couple different tricks you can do to make the simplest beats where they don't hit your brain. One of the problems that I found when I was working with DJs in a live setting, running a music venue, was that over time the DJs tend to lose. It seems like they can't hear volumes in the frequency ranges that are hitting all night, which makes sense. Basically, over time, that deadens. And in long term, it can cause hearing damage, and it's an ongoing struggle with. If you were a DJ that's watching this video to learn about drums, you know, I'm going to take this moment to say, like, maybe find whatever your level is and keep it set. Louder does not mean more crunk, and good DJs realize that, but some other DJs don't. Anyway, the point of the matter is, a couple things you can do to prevent that ear fatigue. One of them is add a fill. So what I did here was, right there, you just heard. So layers, you can set them to where they come up randomly. And since I never worked with layers in the previous versions, it seems like there's only 4 layers in the keys, although I haven't worked much with making the key sets yet, so I can't say. But you've got 8 full layers here. Now what's really cool is with these layers, there's a number of selections, and let's see. I myself am still trying to figure out where the different parts are. Here you have layer play, random. It's under the global settings, layer play random. You want to set that for random because what that does is you have a couple different choices here. And if you click in on it, you could do it based on velocity. So if we try that, we can get a, or if I want, yeah. It seems like the velocity is pretty hard to control. You've got velocity, you've got cycle, where it will cycle through, I'm assuming in order. Let's look at the samples and see what it does. Yeah, that's layer one. Yep, so it just goes through in sequence. But random, to me, is where the sweet spot is because most of the drummers that I've ever played with when I played live, like I said, they'd keep a real steady beat. But when it was time for the turnaround at the end of the, whatever the cycle was, the chord progression, the move from one to another, you know how music works. Hopefully, you're watching this video if you are watching this video. And so, with the random, you can do drum beats where each time it comes around to the fill, one note that I will make is I took all these samples and I did edit all layers, right? And then I went to the end point and I rolled it back and forth until it was a place where I basically kept playing it and I settled on 49039 seemed to make it to where it was basically a half measure thing. So ultimately the drum beat that I ended up landing on was and this is just for proof of concept kind of thing. I'm going to do something really simple. So this is 8 measures is a good repetition, and then in the middle of it, and I shortened all of them so that they would be sure to cut off at the end, which I have to thank somebody who made that note in my comment thread, because it was great. Now they stop before we get to the beginning of it. Yeah, so it's not perfect. It's not exactly what I want, and I'd really like to get more uniform fills, but I just wanted to grab it real quick to see if it could be done, and also to get the dude in the comments section who kept pestering me to do this myself, get off my back. Here's your video. Oh, also, thank you. This is the first time I've hooked up the Focusrite Scarlett to my iPhone in order to get more high-quality audio. I've connected the headphone out from my Model 12 into my Focusrite. We don't have to keep listening to that. This is an experiment of a couple things. I might actually start making videos if there's any interest in this. I will polish them up after this. This is just mostly because my hat is off to the guy who made me mad enough that I had to go ahead and sit down and make this video. Thanks.